As we look at what's going on in the current political climate, I'm just saying I don't want to turn anybody off, but I hate politics. It despise them. It's a magic trick that it's not real. I don't believe in either side, because I think when you pick a side, you are inadvertently supporting division. Yeah, it's not a popular point of view, but I just got to say, think about it. The wells are drying up, and now the diversity's off the table, now equity's off the table, now inclusion's off the table. So that makes me ask myself, okay, so how do we survive?
You know, it's always interesting when celebrities get to a certain point in life, and then suddenly they start switching up. Like they forget what helped them get there in the first place. Pharrell recently did an interview where he said he hates politics and that he doesn't believe in either side. Now listen, I get being frustrated with the system, a lot of us are. But let's not act like these policies, these political systems, didn't play a part in shaping the very path that helped you win Grammys, build brands, and sit at tables most of us don't even get to see. It's almost like once some of these folks make it to the top, they want to pull the ladder up behind them. They don't want to deal with the messy parts of politics, the parts that actually help people coming from where we come from. And to be real, that's dangerous. Because when you have a platform, what you say holds weight. I want y'all to hear this clip for yourself and really think about what it means when someone in his position says something like this, because it's bigger than just an opinion. It's a reflection of a pattern we keep seeing.
As we look at what's going on in the current political climate, I'm just saying I don't want to turn anybody off, but I hate politics. Despise them. It's a magic trick that it's not real. I don't believe in either side, because I think when you pick a side, you are inadvertently supporting division. Yeah, it's not a popular point of view, but I just got to say, think about it. The wells are drying up, and now the diversity's off the table, now equity's off the table, now inclusion's off the table. So that makes me ask myself, okay, so how do we survive? Well, are there black people in there tonight? Yeah. And in your heart, do you think for what it is that you do and who you are, do you think you're the best? Okay, so do you want the job because you're black or because you're the best? Do you want someone to support your startup because you're black or because you're the best? Yes. Right, so I think now for me it's about us having the best ambition. That's the reason why you should support these businesses. Yes, they happen to be black and brown, but it should be based on the thesis that we're the best, not because we are a total shade of a skin color. That's a point of view that I have now that I'm resting on, and if diversity, equity, and inclusion ever comes back in style, cool. But in the meantime, I'm going to focus on being the best because I can bank on that. Because that's what's going to get you the position. I don't want you to give me anything. I want you to panic and not let me out the room because I'm the best.
So who woke up and thought, let us ask Pharrell about anything political because we care so much about what he thinks, because it's never going to be me. He got up on stage at a panel to say that he hates politics, that he doesn't believe in either side, and that he believes that it's a magic trick that forces division. And this is where I hope that veil of celebrity worship gets lifted. That these artists, that these people are just people who are good at their craft, nothing more, nothing less. He doesn't like politics. He doesn't like division. But I thought he liked math so much that he's kept Khaleesi's masters. Or even more, that he went behind Chad's back to gain sole ownership of the Neptune's trademark. Don't want to divide those either, huh? Do you, Pharrell?
Now, Mr. Minion, what was the utility of speaking on DEI?
It should be based on the thesis that we're the best, not because we are a total shade of a skin color.
This stale argument is so easy to bring up. Now that you have reaped all the benefits of affirmative action, if we were recognized for our merits, there would be at least one black-owned Fortune 500 company.
If diversity, equity, and inclusion ever comes back in style, cool. But in the meantime, I'm going to focus on being the best because I can bank on that.
Nobody was banking on DEI. It was a means to an end. The problem is capital. Going from enslaved to citizen. Okay, maybe I'm tripping. I mean, before the civil rights movement, black musicians could play notes, but couldn't own their masters. Black actors could appear on screen, but only as stereotypes. Black workers could tune the instruments, but rarely run the boards. I mean, we do remember that. It was the NAACP that picketed the film studios. It was CORE and the SCLC who pressured radio stations and record labels, forced the hand of the feds, the FCC and EEOC, to threaten networks and unions with lawsuits if they did not integrate. Stay with me now. By the 1970s, music unions were desegregated. There were black film apprenticeships. Now there were black or urban divisions at record labels, diversity quotas in the TV writers' room, and the first wave of black execs. So when you think about a little black boy from Virginia Beach named Pharrell Williams meeting Teddy Riley in 1990, that was only possible because black producers now held some power in the studios. Something that didn't exist just 2 decades prior. I mean, it was affirmative action programs that normalized our presence in Hollywood. No, it's not perfect, but it created the conditions for you to move from the music industry to scoring films. Brother, you may have always been the best, but by being black in this country, we have not always had access to the capital or the backing of the law to build our visions. We are here because of our merit. Stop questioning ourselves. We are here because we've been able to maneuver a racist system, but we don't abandon the work. And we definitely don't speak against it.
This message is for Pharrell. And if you're not Pharrell, please go ahead and swipe. Because me and you need to have a fucking conversation. You got up there with your rich ass, your rich black ass, and you sit up there and said, I don't like politics. It's division. I don't like either side. I don't get why DEI. I don't like DEI because you know what? DEI, do you want to get a job just because you're black? No, bitch, I don't. What I would like to do is actually be fucking seen and not be ignored because I am black. That's what diversity, equity, and inclusion does for black people. For real. I can be overqualified for a fucking position, but because I'm black, I'm the last one to be fucking seen. DEI helped me get in the door so I can compete with that white bitch standing next to me. But your rich black ass wouldn't know shit about it. You want to know why? Because you're fucking rich and black. You're not a minority anymore. You don't have to fight for a fucking position at a job. You're not middle class and you're not fucking poor. So if you don't know what the fuck is actually going on, please shut the fuck up because you know what? You don't do politics. You don't like DEI. You don't have to worry about it. People like me have to. People like me have to worry about if we apply for a position, are we going to be ignored? If we check the black checkbox, are we going to be ignored? If our name is going to push us to the bottom of the fucking barrel, even though we are qualified. That's what the that means. So please stop speaking for middle class and lower class black folks. You no longer fucking apply. Really, I'm sick of y'all rich ass motherfuckers talking like y'all know what the fuck is going on in the world. You don't. And since you don't do politics, shut the fuck up talking about it. Cause really, you're not doing for us. You're making it fucking harder.
You know what my problem is with people like Pharrell that claim they're apolitical and they don't like politics, they don't participate, is that they'll say things like that and the very next sentence after it, the very next point after it comes some diet MAGA conservative shit. And I'm going to prove that point because I'm going to play the rest of the clip for you guys. But it's never like some liberal, snowflakey, inclusive ass take. It's always something that really speaks to what you really are at the end of the day, which is okay. You're just scared of the community that mostly supports you pushing back on you, which is you're a conservative. You're an American conservative. And I think you inherently know deep down right now that pool is a bit muddied up. So you can't align with them on certain things. But let's play the rest of the clip.
Are there black people here tonight? Yeah. And in your heart, do you think for what it is that you do and who you are, do you think you're the best? Okay, so do you want the job because you're black or because you're the best?
And there you have it. Now, I'm not going to misconstrue Pharrell's point. I'll stop him there because I think that really summarizes what he's saying. He gets into that, the things that MAGA and, the slowly but surely alt-right can grab and use and say, hey, just like that CK guy, you see, this is what we're fighting against in DEI. So there's a few counterpoints I just want to point out other than what I've told you guys already, which is, hey, if you're going to get into these talking points, my guy, just stop with the I'm apolitical nonsense, especially in this climate, right? You are what you are. But that point also proves what I need to talk about next with understanding and being able to tell you guys, because I'm pretty fond of Pharrell. Just because people are accomplished in a certain lane or multiple lanes does not mean they understand sociology, does not mean they understand political science in a way they are to, in a way that is, that everyone should listen to them. They can be quite mistaken. What I need Pharrell to understand, right, is when we talk about diversity, equity, inclusion, and we have these conversations about being the best and wells drying up. I'm going to start there. The well drying up then speaks to that language because it reinforces the belief of people on that side, Pharrell, that if I put you next to you would say, I'm nothing like these guys, who sort of imply that without DEI, you wouldn't see qualified people of color, black and brown, in spaces. That is what they're pushing to their audience. They take your type of messaging, mix it up their messaging, and get the dog whistles off, right? And here's something that needs to be said in America, in the rest of the world, about the world and in positions and things like that. We need to talk about qualification, okay, versus this notion of being the best. And let's be really, really frank about this, right? And let's also be really frank about why we had the push for DEI, right? Even in the cases where people are the best, you have things like DEI, exist, right? Because there are cases when you are more qualified and or better than people that don't look like you, and you still don't get the opportunity. We have to get rid of this notion that people are begging simply because we happen to always not be the best. There are times when we are the best and we don't get the opportunity. There are times when you are just as equally qualified as another person, and if there's no incentive to give your black ass a chance, people won't take that chance. Okay, let's move that out the way. In Pharrell's world, even in Pharrell's world, and I find it funny that he's doing something like this as someone as a creative director, you work with LV and things like that. Yes, there are times where maybe these companies are looking for the best. But Pharrell, let's be honest. There are times you're working with brands because you represent a group of people. You may not be better than Jack answered off. Maybe that's a opinion, right? But in terms of qualification, I guess you guys would both be qualified knowing music or whatever. But people are looking for you to direct a certain commercial that speaks to a certain group of people. We got to stop demonizing diversity, equity, and inclusion in a country where the best, honestly, if I'm being honest with you, when it comes to, and I'm going to, I just want to put it all in there for you so y'all can get it, because it's so much we can deep dive on this. The best, if I'm being honest with y'all, chances are they're so far ahead of the pack that the color doesn't even matter, right? Sometimes, right? Because being a genius, chemical engineer that ends up going to a private, Ivy League, there might still be some discrimination versus your white counterpart that got there because his daddy, but he's also a genius. But really, truly, the best, that's a whole nother conversation. Mostly in qualification, we need to have a conversation about how sometimes diversity, equity, inclusion is a plus for a company. And I'll close with this. I know you guys have seen like the viral video of, the young black woman that, she was going into labor and that nurse was sitting right there. And you got to take all what I'm saying with a grain of salt. And that nurse is most likely qualified, because if she wasn't qualified, she wouldn't have gotten that position. But who's to say? And not that it's an exact science, but who's to say if there was another qualified nurse that was black, that could see herself maybe in that other woman, and or understands, just because, not because she's, taking more humanity classes than other nurses, but just being as part of a community, understanding how black women, pain threshold is judged differently, may go, oh, that's not right, would probably act more, and that would be better, act quicker, and that would be better for that hospital. You have to understand that, Pharrell, when you're saying the things you're saying, that group that ends up grabbing and hijacking your message, they're not just taking that surface level thinking that you have, and they're going, okay, yeah, this works. They're using it for an agenda. And Pharrell, that is surface level thinking, because, there's no other way to interpret, and some of you may sound being rigid, to interpret this attack against diversity, equity, and inclusion in a world which, for a lot of roles, for a lot of jobs, a lot of positions, qualification is what we're looking for first, and there's a way to measure the qualification, right? So when people become attorneys, doctors, nurses, even, tech guys, whatever, HVAC, plumbing, whatever, we live in a country where you got to go through some stuff to get these positions. And everybody's going to be new. I mean, remember dude was talking about pilots. It was weird. Everybody's going to have bumps and bruises. Everybody's going to have luck here. You're going to get an opportunity here. A teacher's going to curve a grade. But, we're not talking about jobs where people are just like, yeah, come as you are, like with their Jesus or something. And, you can have the job. So, Pharrell, if you don't get I'm not even including everything I should include in this video because it's going long enough. If you don't understand these things, and admittedly you don't participate in the political system, just stay out of it.
I want to make something very clear. There's no such thing as apolitical. Everything is political. So convenient for a rich person to tell the working class, politics is just so divisive. That's because one party doesn't believe anyone deserves health care. That same party doesn't think anyone should have an education. That same party believes it's okay to use military force on brown people. Let's not forget that same political party thinks it's okay to touch little kids. So yeah, everything is political. And then this dumbass goes on a rant about how we don't need DEI. You just need to be the best. How dumb, how stupid do you have to be? What does DEI stand for? I'll give you a hint. It's diversity, equity, and inclusion. Guess who was the majority that benefit from it? Wasn't a black woman. It was white women. These people don't care if you're the best. They only care if you're white. And if you don't believe me, look at this administration. I promise you, he's not political now, but watch when we start taxing the rich. Let's see how apolitical he really is when we start touching his pockets.
I used to carry a belief that one of the best strategies to mobilize young people and college students around civic engagement and voting is through celebrity engagement. Like, get a celebrity to talk about it, get them to jump on board, and you would get more students to care about this. And as years went by, I stopped including celebrities or the desire to want to include them in our work because that engagement lasts for only until the event goes on, until the celebrity is talking about the topic. And so when you have celebrities like a Pharrell speaking about politics, you have to realize that celebrities live in alternative universes where their politics are not our politics. And I'm not saying that celebrities don't care how politics impacts us on a local and state level. What I'm saying is that they have access to a certain amount of wealth that can remove them from experiencing how reproductive rights or healthcare or criminal justice system or education, impacts their everyday life. So when I hear like celebs like a Pharrell or just see celebrities all come out during election season, I don't put much value on that. Or what they say, because they go back to their regular lives. When I am working with HBCU students, I lean on the students. I lean on HBCU alums. I lean on us to tell our own stories and to advocate for issues that we care about. And in doing so, I see a different level of engagement that lasts longer than having a celeb pop up in an event. And sometimes I have to put the blame back on us as everyday people because it should not take a celeb endorsing something or someone for us to want to engage.
Hey, y'all. So, I told my daughter, the other day, I was really going to try to stop cussing on here so much because, I know I be dropping them F-bombs a lot. I know my mouth can be a little bad sometimes. But when I try to stop, it's always a ninja on here with some that make me get out of my character. And I'm talking about Pharrell Williams. Pharrell Williams was at an event this weekend in Miami where he got the key to the city. And he proceeds to talk about two things that really set me off. One, he proceeds to say that he hates politics because politics is divisive. No, politics isn't divisive. The racists that want to make policy to harm regular people are the ones that are divisive. It's the racist and it's the classist people, the capitalists like you, that make it divisive. The regular people don't make it divisive. A lot of the regular people that are spewing division are listening to those folks spewing division. That's what that's about. Two, he brings up DEI and he says, don't you want to be hired for your talents, not your skin color? That is a misinformed Republican talking point, which one makes me realize a lot of these black folks in entertainment, they're definitely Republicans. And while y'all can look up stuff and be like, well, they don't say they're Republicans. No, they ain't saying it. And they probably even actually acting like they went for Kamala. But when they got in that booth, they definitely clicked that Donald Trump because they wanted the tax breaks and the benefits because they're capitalist. So you are spewing misinformation. The misinformation is, one, white women have benefited more from DEI than any other group of people. So they clearly weren't getting jobs based on their skin color because they're white women. Two, black people were the best. We were the best at a lot of things. But because of racism, we were not getting opportunities. We were being passed over for people that weren't the best, which is why DEI is actually even a thing. It gives us a fair chance at having a level playing field. So while you spew and don't you want to be hired for the best, you stupid with these comments because we weren't being hired when we were the best. So it being gone, what do you think is going to happen now? 300,000 black women lost their jobs since the Trump administration came into play. And you're basically trying to say those 300,000 black women weren't qualified or weren't good enough for their jobs? You really think 300,000 black women got a job based on their fucking skin color? This is why the fuck you shouldn't even be talking about politics, because it's ignorant, it's misinformed, and it's uneducated. All of your comments. And between you, Charlamagne, 50 Cent, Stephen A. Smith, and now Nicki Minaj ass, I don't know which one of y'all is the bigger raccoon. Because all you guys are doing is coming to spread misinformation to your people. It's giving y'all our ops. It's giving y'all getting paid by these white executives, these white politicians to spew lies to your community so your community will vote for these people. And while you sit back and collect a check, because everything these people are doing are harmful to your community, but you will never experience that harm. Why? Because you got a record deal at 19, sir. At 19, you got a record deal from Teddy Riley. So you've never experienced a situation where you needed DEI. You've never experienced a situation where you were broke and poor because your mama was a teacher and your daddy was a worker. And so you had a 2-parent household. You never experienced these things. But you want to lecture people about what they should do and how they should be getting jobs when you've never had to fight for a job because you didn't get a chance because you were black.
Now look, let's not get it twisted. Ain't nobody saying the current political system is perfect. It's far from it. Matter of fact, the folks who are in office right now have messed things up so bad, it's hard not to be frustrated. I feel that frustration too. The economy's shaky, job security is a joke, housing is through the roof, and for a lot of people, especially black folks, it feels like we're out here just trying to survive every single day. But here's the thing, it's messed up because of who's in office and what they stand for. When people who don't care about us, who don't care about equity, don't care about justice, don't care about inclusion, are in charge, of course things are going to be broken. Of course it's going to feel like nobody's listening. That's what happens when we don't show up, when we don't fight to be in the rooms where the decisions are being made. So when someone like Pharrell says, "I hate politics," or "I don't believe in either side," it might sound harmless, but it's dangerous. Because people listen to him, and when someone with that much influence tells folks to check out of the political process or act like all sides are the same, what they're really doing is helping the people in power stay in power. The same people who are making it harder for us to vote. The same people who are stripping away rights we fought for. The same people who have made it their mission to erase Black history, deny our struggle, and silence our voices. Let me ask you this. Who is getting laid off the most right now? We are Black people. We've got the degrees, we've got the experience, we've got the paperwork, the internships, the skills, the certifications, everything they say we need to succeed. But guess what? The playing field is still uneven. The opportunities still ain't the same. And in this economy, that gap is growing even wider. There are people out here who are overqualified and still not getting a call back. And it's not because we're not capable, it's because the system was never built for us. And now with this current administration, that racism, that quiet discrimination that's always been there, it's not even quiet anymore. It's loud, it's proud, and it's in your face. That's why it's not enough to say, "I don't believe in politics." We have to believe in politics because politics believes in us. Whether we like it or not, politics decides where your kids go to school. Politics decides if your neighborhood gets clean water. Politics decides if that cop gets held accountable or walks free. Politics decides who gets the job and who gets left behind. And if we don't fight for what's right for us, then who will? If we don't fight to be in these predominantly white workplaces, if we don't demand equity in these white-owned companies, if we don't push to sit at these decision-making tables, then who will speak up for our people? Nobody's going to hand us anything. Our ancestors didn't sacrifice for us to sit silent while others rewrite the rules. We've come too far, and there's still too far to go. We can't let fame and fortune make us forget the fight. Just because you made it out doesn't mean the fight is over. And honestly, you don't get to turn your back on the very movement that made your success possible because it was our people, our culture, our resilience, our blood, sweat, and tears that laid the foundation for folks like Pharrell to thrive. Listen, I'm not here to cancel anybody, That's not what this is about. I'm here to hold people accountable because words matter, influence matters. And right now, more than ever, we need our people, especially the ones with platforms, to stand for something. So before we start saying all politics is bad or I don't believe in any side, take a second to look around. Look at who's hurting. Look at who's being pushed out. Look at who's always the first to get cut, the first to be blamed, the last to be considered. That's us. And if we don't speak up, if we don't organize, if we don't stay in the fight, they'll keep pushing us to the margins until there's no place left for us at all. So I'm challenging you, you watching this video, to do more than just feel frustrated. Get informed, stay engaged, vote smart, talk to your people, make noise in your workplace, ask the hard questions, show up. Because the truth is, we do deserve better. But better don't come from being silent. It comes from being loud, being informed, and being unapologetically Black in every room we step in. And let's make sure nobody, not even our own, forgets that.